Hi, how's everyone? Yeah, this is Angelina. We are at the Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Okay, so I was sincere apologies. I did not do the recording on Saturday, so this yesterday and Tuesday I could not upload the latest episode, and today is Christmas. It's Wednesday, so I take the opportunity to take a few minutes to do this recording. Okay, um, following the last week's video, okay, the last video was about the eighth vow of the Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva, okay, to follow the Buddha's teachings, right? So now we are looking at the ninth vow. The ninth vow is Heng Xun Zhong Shen. Heng Xun Zhong Shen means to follow, right, like going with the flow with the needs of the people. Okay, Heng Xun. Heng Xun is more than just, obey. It is more towards the intrinsic needs of others to just go with the flow. Okay, Zhongshen is beings. Okay, so it does not matter whether you're talking about humans or you're talking about non-humans. Okay, animals, insects, whatever. Okay, 恒顺众生, you just go with the flow with what the people need. Okay, in one context, if we were to look at all the sutras, we will see that when the sutras describe the Buddha, or the sutra describes about the different encounters that people have with the Buddhas and the Bodhisattvas. Okay, you'll notice that oftentimes they will say that they encounter this certain bodhisattva as a manifestation of a certain being, probably a monk or even an elderly person or even a child. Okay, so especially when we're talking about Avalokitesvara, Quan Pusa. Okay, because when we look at, like for example, Pumen Ping, okay, the sutra, Pumen Ping, they said that Guan Pusa, okay, Guan Pusa, Avalokitesvara Bodhisattva, has manifestations of different forms and different looks. Okay, this is actually not the desire of the Bodhisattva. This is actually based on the needs of the person who is going to encounter the Bodhisattva. Okay, like for example, if let's say you are able to receive the teachings of the Buddha, probably you are more receptive to the form of an elderly person. Okay, so the Buddha will manifest based on your temperament, based on your karmic ripeness. Okay, manifest into an elderly person to share the Dharma with you, or to do something, or to say something to you. Okay, or if let's say your temperament, you are more receptive towards children, okay, more receptive towards even animals, then they will manifest themselves into animals or into little children, and then they will show you things. Like for example, sometimes you may see why some children, you say, wow, this kid is really chill, not angry about anything. Oh, he's such a good temper, right? People take his toys, but he's still so chill. It's like, oh, he just let go so easily. Then it should be something that we learn. Okay, it should be a lesson that we learn. But oftentimes we neglect these opportunities of learning. Okay, because oftentimes we just view it as, oh, this is a third person. Okay, oh, this is an external thing. We do not bring it in and reflect whether it is applicable to us. Okay, we don't see how it is on us. So that's why it will be, especially now, it is becoming rare for people to have stories about meeting with bodhisattvas and meeting with the Buddhas in different manifestations. In the past, there are a lot because people still believe on one. Number two, the karmic ripeness of people were there. Okay, they are receptive. They have more purity in their heart compared to what we have now. Today, if we were to look at some of the things, even parents are teaching their children that money is the most important. When you talk about money being the most important, then the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas will not teach you about enlightenment. They will not teach you about how to um, be morally elevated. They will not help. They will not give you tips that will help you grow yourself spiritually or mentally. Okay, if your desire is on money, they will teach you ways to earn money. Okay, if your desire is on longevity, they will teach you ways to, you know, about longevity. But oftentimes, even if they teach you about how to make money, you don't see it as a valuable lesson. Okay, because the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, when they teach you about making money, there are a few things. First thing is about charity. Okay, in any of the Buddhist talks, if you talk about karma, okay, anytime you look at our lives, it is related to karma. The more money that you give to charity, the more money that will return to you in your life. Okay, so when we talk about charity, right, if I were to tell you that the best way for you to earn money is through charity, a lot of people will see it very superficially. Okay, either you're talking about corporations, some corporations, they will make a donation and then they will make sure that they have that publicity worth or worth more than the value of the money that they have given to charity. Okay, or maybe they will think that, oh, charity, I don't even have enough for my food, so how can I do charity? Right, you want money but you're not willing to give up money, right? So when we look at business people, when you're talking about businesses, you need to spend the money, okay, to purchase the raw materials before you can sell it out, right? It's actually the same when it comes to um, any vocation at all. If you want to have money, you need to be willing to part with your money, giving to charity, to the people who need it. Okay, like for example, to the old folks home, to the orphanages, or to those non-profit organizations meant to give things like free medications, or maybe meant to give like free education, right? You need to be willing to spend this kind of money. Okay, it comes from the sincerity of your heart, right? It does not need to be a huge amount. You If you only have $1 to spare, then you just give that dollar, right? If you have like $100 to spare, then you just give that $100, right? But when we talk about, modern ways of earning money, they talk about investment. They talk about things that say, investing your money so that it leads to more money. They have taken this really too literally, so they have neglected the karmic seeds of making money. So which is why when you're talking about all these approaches in the modern times, they are not things that are being taught by the Buddhas or the Bodhisattvas. Okay, they are being taught by people who try to also working very hard trying to earn a living. If you were to look at the example of Warren Buffett, okay, Mr. Warren is, he has his ways of investing. He and Mr. Charles, all right, they both were looking at all the annual reports. Even if you were to look at their interviews, they read through all the reports. All annual reports, okay, they had a time they go and look at all annual reports and they make 10-year comparisons, and they do not skip or choose or pick based on their inner desires, or they don't pick on their favoritisms. Okay, they go through every single stock in the market and they make a comparison. They earn They have the formula, they have the business acumen, they understand how the businesses work, and then they just do, they just earn. All right, and after they have learned, they give to charity, they give to their families and everything. They are earning so much, but they are not standing out there to create motivation talks, to create investment classes. They don't do that, right? So, because if let's say they're already earning so much, why would they spend the kind of time and money to go and invest in um, creating videos or creating lessons or classes to other people, right? They don't do that. But other people go and study them, go and learn from them, go and look at their secrets, trying to find that shortcut to it. But these two gentlemen put in the effort. Okay, they understand how it works when it comes to mortal investments. Okay, you need to put in the hard work. But a lot of people study them and then they look for the shortcut, which is why you see a lot of people, they may not get that kind of success in their investments, but they claim themselves to be gurus of investments. Okay, they teach you formulas, they teach you things, and then once in a while, they have that strike of good karmic past, and then they just strike some gold somewhere, and then they make themselves famous. People just look at them, oh, this is an investment guru and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, are they really investment gurus when they can't even understand the core of their success, the core of their prosperity? Okay, the core of this prosperity is not their cleverness or their intelligence in this mortal life. It is about their past life, the past life that they have planted, the seeds of charity that is manifesting now as fruit. The fruition is to bring them the prosperity in this life. So when people talk about this 恒顺众生, okay, back to our topic, 恒顺众生. So whatever your heart desires, that's how it will manifest. And anytime at all, if you are not careful, the manifestation is not the Buddhas or the Bodhisattvas. It's the manifestation of Mara, okay, the evil one, the one that will try to keep you rooted in this I will say mundane world, so that you continue in the cycle of existence. A lot of people, you are thinking, so what in the cycle of existence? This is how life is. I don't care. I don't even bother you. You have that kind of fatality in your mind that it does not really matter if you were to stay in existence, in the cycle of existence for eons and eons, to no ends, because you're in your human life and you think that human life is wonderful, right? You earn some money, you go for holidays, you eat some really good food and things like this. Okay, you neglect the very essence of it. You neglect the very part that will tell you that what if you are not reborn as a human? Okay, what if you're reborn as an animal? Some people say that, oh, if it's an animal, that is marvelous as well, because you see now the pets are being pampered to no ends. Okay, dogs and cats, they're living in luxury and things like this. Yeah, in the past they have planted their good karmic seeds that allow them to become um, pets in luxury homes. But then, what if you are born as a wild animal? Okay, or what if you are born as an ant in a household where you can be poisoned? What if you are born as a stray dog or a stray cat, right? And at any time at all, you risk the rain, you risk not being able to find your next meal, you risk being run over by cars, okay, by motorcyclists. People don't think about that. Oftentimes, people are starting to become too optimistic that they don't think about that. They always think of it as something that will not happen to them. They'll think of it as something that will only happen to other people, or maybe it's not something that will even happen to people. Okay, animals are animals, or humans are humans, and things like this. But they neglect the fact of reincarnation. They neglect the fact of karmic relations. Okay, a lot of times nowadays is a little bit sad to see some families break apart because of money. Okay, in fact, if you look at some parents now, all they care about is about money. Right? They're not even looking at other things. They're not looking at the values. They no longer teach their children about honesty. They no longer teach the children about the tolerance. They're not willing to teach the children about working hard. They're not willing to teach children about vocations. Okay, they're just teaching their children money is the priority. Money is very important. And in fact, I have overheard conversations which goes like the mother telling the child, because the mother was asking for a lot of money from the child, and then the child was devastated. So she just said, is that all that you ever care about? Right? Is that all that you ever want? Everything is about money. Okay, fine. If you want money, then you just take the money, but you won't have a family. Right? But the mother went to the extent of asking the child, everyone loves money. Don't you love money? Don't tell me that you don't love money. Okay, the child was crying, see, when she was talking to me, because indeed this person is, I'll say that she is a contented person. Okay, she has values. She understand about money. Okay, she knows that money is not the only thing in this world. She understands money as a tool for survival, for life, to buy things, to whatever. But when her own mother says such things to her, it actually, I would say that it made her heart die, right? Because if a parent can only think about money when she's being faced with a child, okay, what do you think it is? Okay, the child has grown up wondering why each time, okay, every single time when she gets into a job, the only thing that her mother cared for was the monthly salary, was for her child to bring money into the family. Okay, and how does the mother spend the money? Okay, in hair salons, in beautician, those facial homes and things like this, and it tires out the child. Okay, so if you are to look at all these things, you can imagine how the society is becoming. Okay, it makes those who still holds that purity of heart to feel disheartened, to feel that there is no no such hope in this world, when in actual fact the only thing that creates the difference between us is, as human, our ability to differentiate between right and wrong. So if a parent can say such to a child, and if the child does not have a strong mental equity, what will happen? Okay, so this person that I know already feels very disheartened, and she has given up on her family. uh, Not to say given up on the entire family, she has given up on her mother. Okay, so sometimes when we're talking about filial piety, right? Even if you're talking about filial piety, when a parent behaves as such, I will say, as a child, please only give what you can afford. Okay, do have an honest living. Okay, and after you have done your best based on what you can afford, okay, that's it. Your parent is old enough, and your parent has their own karma, right? If your parent is actually trying to get more money from you, and it is causing you to lose yourself, to think of the unthinkables. In fact, this person I'm talking to, she was in the brink of suicidal. She was suicidal. She was depressed. And she was already thinking of, why not she just end everything, since her mother wants money so much, why not she just end everything so that the mother can have whatever money that she has right now, and then just be done and over with. Okay, but remember, there is a lot more to life, right? Don't give up. Okay, so 恒顺终身, you as a human, you are not capable of just conjuring, of just manifesting things, right? You don't have that magic. Just do what you are able to afford. Okay, like for example, many years ago, I bring during my weekends, I will bring bread to the old folks' home, to the orphanages around the entire island. Okay, so what do? I uh, just get a lot of bread, and then I just bring the bread over to these homes. Okay, I will ask them, how many people do you have? Then I will see if your home is really huge and I don't have that kind of money. Then I'll buy loaf breads, okay, instead of those cream breads. And then at one moment, after giving loaf breads, one of the homes actually told me that they find it too bothersome to do loaf breads, but they have like over 50 tenants inside there. And then they requested for those cream breads, those that are ready. But cream breads, if you were to look at the cost of it, cream breads is like it will triple the cost compared to loaf bread, right? So I can buy 3 times of loaf breads with the same amount of buying cream bread for them. If I were to buy loaf bread for them, then I can actually feed 3 times the size of their institution. But if I were to buy cream bread, I can only feed them one institution. So at the end of the day, after I have tried and attempted, I find that I'm being unfair to other organizations, those that are smaller, those that will also need help. So in the end, you know, with this kind of request that I cannot afford, I drop them, right? I drop them, and then um, eventually I drop everything else, because when they started to have requests that I couldn't fulfill, then it is already not my karma to fulfill them. That means that I've already done enough to engage my karma with them, right? So I dropped, and now I'm doing some other kinds of charities that does not need me to go around the island every single weekend, and I'm not distributing bread that way. Okay, so 恒顺终身, you also have to remember, tie in with the karma. If you can afford it, then it is your karma to be doing this to them. You have your past connection with them, so you're taking this opportunity to be able to serve them in your charity. And if, let's say, it's come to a point where you are not able to support them, then that's it. It is not your fault. It is also not anything's fault. They will still survive with other people's donations. They will still survive with other people's givings. Okay, but that is their karmic relation with the others. So when we're talking about 恒顺终身, following with the flow of the other people, of the recipient, it will also encompass the other person's karma. It will also look at the time and everything else, including your own. If you can afford, that means your karma is there. If you cannot afford, that means this karmic event is not meant to happen. Don't force it. Okay, 恒顺. So now I have explained to you 恒顺 in a superficial level and also 恒顺 in a deeper level. Superficial level is like, oh, it's like at work, okay? If, let's say, your manager says they want it this way, even if it's the wrong way, they want it this way, you try to tell them that it is the wrong way and they still want it the wrong way, then it is also up to them. What can you do? You're not the owner of the company. You are not their manager. You can't dictate. right? You try to explain, you try to build your case, but they reject, then that's it. You know, it's their karma. It's not yours. All right, you're just there to execute. And if let's say 恒顺众生, this one is the solution level. Okay, you give them what they want. Another level is that you give them only to the extent that they can accept. All right, and then to go into a different level, you give them to the extent that you have that karmic connection with them. Okay, you are repaying their kindness in the past, so you are able to have the opportunity to be able to give it to them. So always give to charity. Okay, if you give exceeding, okay, based on your sincerity, you give and you exceeded, that means you have just planted good karmic seeds with the society, with the people. And then in the future, in your future life, you'll be able to meet them too. If let's say your future life, you say that no, I'm going to Pureland to be with Amitabha. So even after you've gone to Pureland, remember, we go to Pureland to become Buddhas ourselves and then to come back and to help other people. Right? So when you go up there to Pureland, you become a Buddha and you come back to help other people, then at that moment, those people who you have built the karmic seeds, the karmic relations with, they will be the people who are receptive of the teachings that you would like to share. Okay, so never be afraid of giving out to charity. Okay, this is 恒顺众生. It's not just about always giving what the other person want. It also has to look at the karma, to look at the relationship, to look at the past, the present, and the future. It has to look at all these things. Not blind giving. You can't be doing blind giving. Okay, we bring a story about one of the lay disciples of our Lord Gautama Buddha in the past. Okay, she came from a wealthy family. She fell in love with a thief. She married the thief. Okay, so upon marrying the thief, she thought that she can use true love to convince the thief to become a good man. But you know, this man is still right, got used to robbing, and he doesn't have that kind of loving heart for her. So one day he decided that he will kill her to take her money. Right, it happened in the past. Right, it's not a movie. It was stated in the sutras. So he wanted to kill her to get her money. No love for her. So in her wisdom, okay, she had thought, if I allow myself to be killed and he take the money, she can take this path as well. But it will not be a wise path. Okay, it will not be a wise path. Taking her money, it will also mean that it will devastate the entire family. Right? He can, if he can murder her, he can also potentially murder her entire family. Okay, for the sake of the money. So in an effort to save the family, not just herself, right, she said to her husband, please allow me to pay my respect to you for the last time. Okay, so they were at a cliff. The husband was going to push her off the cliff to murder her. So you know, last time in the past, right, they circumambulate, right? Like even if you go to Buddhist temples now, right, some people they will circumambulate around the Buddha statue 3 times, right? So she said, I want to give you the last respect before you push me off the cliff. So she was going to pay her respect to him by circumambulating him, like how she respected, you know, those like in the temple practices. So that thief was like, okay, it's up to you. You're just paying me your last respects as a wife, even if I don't love you. So he just stood there, you know, by the cliff. And then she started, you know, just putting down and then showing that she wants to respect him for the last time. But as she go behind him, he was facing the cliff. She pushed him down. In other words, she murdered him. Okay, is there any sin to her murdering him? The Buddhist text actually said that this is an act of wisdom. Okay, I'm not encouraging people to kill other people. All right, please don't quote me out of context. Okay, but the thing is that you can only help a person to the extent that your karma is able to help. Okay, you should not be doing this if you cannot afford it. And this person now is talking about her life, her money, everything, right? So in another story, all right, when we're talking about our Lord Buddha Gautama, all right, he was a monk and he met with this tiger in the wild. Okay, the tiger was so hungry, but the tiger refused to eat our Lord Buddha, even though it was hungry. Okay, it was a female tigress. Okay, she refused to eat the Buddha because animals, they have these instincts. Animals are able to see things that we don't as humans. So she recognized this person as a Buddha, somebody, a Bodhisattva at that time, before he became the Buddha, a Bodhisattva. The tigress is able to recognize this and able to appreciate this. So even though she was hungry, she could not eat the Buddha. You see, animals are even more humane than us, you know. So instead of this allowing this tigress to attack him, the Buddha at that time, as a Bodhisattva, he killed himself so that she can take his flesh. Right? So if I remember the story correctly, there was the tigress and her cubs. They were hungry and yet they refused to eat the Buddha. So the Buddha killed himself, and after he was totally dead, that means it was only just seriously she made sure that he was dead, only left the body, then only she consumed his meat, then only she fed her cubs with it. Okay, so you see, there are things like this that we need to understand. Karma is complicated. Karma is not normal. Okay, not something that we always overstate these days. Like, oh, serves her right. Uh, uh, karmic payback. You know, it's not like that, right? So you have to understand karma works in ways that we are not able to compute. It's very complicated and it is not something that we can easily explain within, just a few words. We cannot do that. Okay, so Heng Shun Zhong Shen, remember, you have to know what you are helping with, what you are doing, okay, with wisdom, right? We are not able to see, we are not Buddhas, we are not Bodhisattvas. We cannot see how a person's karma is like. Okay, we cannot. So when we are looking at all these things, one guideline that we need to know is that if possible, we help as much as we can based on our affordability. If we are not able to help anymore, then we just don't help. Okay, but if you're able to help, to the thumb rule is just help if we're able to afford that. Okay, so 9 out of 10 of the Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva's teachings, okay, the 10 vows, are actually about our conduct, okay, on how we should be to make us become better people. Okay, it helps us build our karmic seeds, it helps us build our character, it helps us to become who we want to be. Okay, the 9 Bodhisattva vows of Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva, the first 9 vows are actually things that we need to follow, that we need to do, so that we are able to go into the 10th vow. Okay, the 10th vow is 普结回向. Okay, that means to dedicate all our merits to, going into Amitabha's Pureland, 回向, dedication of merits. Okay, so in the dedication of merits, there are many ways of dedication of merits. Sometimes, if you were to look at all the sutra books, right, at the end of it, there will be a dedication page. Okay, there will be a stanza saying that I'm dedicating all the merits to those at the top and those at the bottom. Okay, that means to all beings, dedication of merits to all beings. May all beings be well and happy when we're talking about Theravada Buddhism. And in a deeper context, when we're talking about a Mahayana standpoint, may all beings be well and happy. Well and happy means infinite lifetime, infinite happiness, infinite of everything. That actually means Amitabha's Pureland. Okay, for you to become a Buddha, ultimate infinite happiness, you're a Buddha. Ultimate infinite lifespan, you're a Buddha. Ultimate infinite of everything, you are Buddha. So the dedication of merits is for you to become a Buddha one day. What is the fastest and the quickest route to become a Buddha? Other than, there's no others, right? Other than going to Pure Land, following Amitabha Buddha. Okay, all the Buddhas praise Amitabha Buddha. All Buddhas will tell you to go to Pure Land, will tell you to follow Amitabha, will tell you to chant Amitabha, okay, and dedicate all your merits to go to Pure Land. Nothing else, no others, right? So this episode, we conclude all the 10 vows of Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva's vows. Okay, the 10 vows. So in the next episode, we will go back to our sutra, our Infinite Lifetime Sutra, right? Other than Pusen Pusa, other than Samanthabhadra Bodhisattva, there are also other Bodhisattvas. So we will just go through them and see who they are, right? If there are those that we are familiar with, we can actually look in depth of why they are inside this congregation, to listen to Lord Gautama Buddha's Dharma talk about Pure Land, okay, about this Infinite Lifetime Sutra. Alright, so until then, we shall end today's episode. Is 37 minutes are good enough. Okay, so it's going to be 2025 soon, so I'm taking this opportunity to wish all of you good health, okay, joyfulness, happiness. Be grateful for everything that you have. Okay, remember always, don't be greedy. Okay, greed, anger, and hatred are the three roots of evil that will drag you to hell. Okay. Oh, I also didn't do the hell talks yet. Okay, so remember everything. Okay, so I hope that you will have a peaceful, a graceful, and a healthy lead towards 2025. Okay, until then, we shall meet again in the next episode. Okay, take good care. Bye. Amitabha.